Oh boy, do we have some good cooking here. This is your prior to week 13 college football playoff bracket. So we still have one more game plus conference championship games just to give you an idea of what's going on right now. Duke is your 1 seed. Don't ask me. They are an 81 overall. They sim insanely well. I do not understand the Duke Blue Devils, and they somehow got bumped. Well, they didn't somehow. They beat Miami. They got bumped up to the 1 seed. Your 2 seed is Oregon. After beating Penn State, they jump up to 2. Kentucky drops a spot. I believe they were on a bye week, so they drop to number 3. Notre Dame is number 4. This is their last week of the season. They do not play conference championship games, so likely wherever they finish here against USC, that is where they're going to be as we enter college football playoff time. The number 5 seed is the LSU Tigers out of the SEC. And we'll go take a look at conference standings to see where teams stack up as we get into this last week, see who's clinched, see what needs to go down elsewhere. Number 6 is the Michigan Wolverines. They are 10-1 on this season. They did lose a game to Penn State a couple of weeks ago, so they did drop a few spots. But as we'll see in the Big Ten race, they're kind of perfectly set up for this college football playoff as long as they're able to beat Ohio State this week. Number 7 is UCLA, another Big Ten team. They're 9-2 on the season. Got a bunch of good wins, not too many bad losses, which will put you in the top 10. Number 8, the Washington Huskies have jumped up a couple spots yet again. They find themselves inside the top 10 very firmly. Number 9 is the Ole Miss Rebels. Those two teams will square off in round 1 if things hold, which they probably won't. We still got a lot of games left to play. Number 10 is the Ohio Bobcats. They are your number 1 ranked G5 team. They have a hell of a resume and frankly should be higher than they are right now. That's brand bias at its best, but they are one of your auto bids. Another one of your auto bids is the number 11 team, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. They would right now are favored to win the ACC. I think it might be because Duke's not technically in it yet. I don't know. There's some weird stuff going on in the Atlantic Coast Conference. So they get your auto bid for the ACC. And then at number 12, the final auto bid spot, because there is no Big 12, Nevada, the Wolfpack, get in at number 13 and would play LSU in the first round. So that's how it looks so far. Let's go take a look at conference standings. We'll start in the Big Ten because that's where I am at, and that's where it's going to auto start. So it will be a rematch as long as Oregon wins this week. I think, and I don't know what would happen if Oregon lost to Michigan 1. As long as Oregon wins this week, it will be Oregon versus Washington and a rematch in the Big Ten title game in Indianapolis. So that should be a really fun one. And that's kind of what I was talking about with Michigan. They beat Ohio State. They're 11-1 and don't have to play in the Big Ten title game. They're firmly in the top 10. They're at number 6. I mean, you beat an Ohio State team that's highly rated and is 7-4 right now. You're going to be very firmly implanted in the college football playoff. I don't know if there's a better spot than that. So this is what I was talking about. Right now, Georgia Tech, because they have played all of their ACC title games or ACC conference games, they are the quote-unquote favorite for the spot because they have the 7 conference wins. Now, regardless of what happens in these 2 games, Georgia Tech has clinched. They have clinched because they have the head-to-head over Duke. They will win in any one of these scenarios. Say both Duke and Miami this week win, then it doesn't matter. Georgia Tech 10. Duke and Miami, this is going to be an interesting one because right now Duke has the head-to-head over Miami. They just played last week. So if Duke is able to win this week, then Miami is out. Doesn't matter. Now, if Duke loses, it opens the door for Miami to potentially get in, which could send this thing into a complete spiral, really make things interesting. As you can see, Georgia Tech ranked behind Miami, but it doesn't seem like that's going to matter, and Georgia Tech is going to have the chance at the auto bid. In the Big 12, it's going to be Baylor, right? We already talked about them, and it looks like it's going to be that Colorado, Arizona State, West Virginia combo that we saw earlier, but Colorado's done with conference play, so we'll see what happens there. Baylor has Kansas this week. They will be playing in the Big 12 title game. There's some, there's a way that they could find themselves, being number 19, could find themselves in the college football playoff. It's unlikely they would need a lot to go their way, but it's a possibility. In the Conference USA, it's Middle Tennessee and Jacksonville State. Again, we knew this was coming down the pipe. Like this was going to happen for a 4th straight season. Those 2 teams will square off. In the MAC, it is Ohio, and it looks like Toledo dropped another game, so they will get to play against 62 overall Ball State. Man, I don't know if you can get luckier than that. basically Ohio has a free ride the rest of the way to the college football playoff. Shout out to Bobcats. Shout out Coach Sean Diddy Combs for getting his team to the CFP. In the Mountain West, it will be Nevada and San Diego State after that huge upset for Utah State. They got ever so close, but unfortunately just a little too late for the Aggies, and the Aztecs, after the Colorado State loss, will be firmly in the Mountain West title game and have a chance to take on this Nevada Wolfpack team that is playing damn good football as of like 10 straight wins after that opening loss to Ohio in week 1. In the SEC, this one is going to come down to the wire. So basically, Arkansas beats Ole Miss, right? Now Arkansas just needs LSU to lose their last game of the season against Texas A&M. If they are able to, or if I should say if LSU loses and Arkansas wins, Arkansas plays Missouri this week, so it should be a pretty easy victory for them. If they're able to win that game and LSU loses, they have to head-to-head over Ole Miss. It would be a rematch of Arkansas and Kentucky in the SEC title game. Talk about throwing a wrench in the plan. You want to talk about, an unranked Arkansas team upsetting the number 3 team in the country, thus meaning that we need another spot open for auto bids. You could be looking at Baylor coming in. Like, Baylor could be that next team, or Middle Tennessee could be that next team. We don't know at this point, and that's what is so interesting, and probably my favorite path, is that somebody is going to get kicked to the curb. Right now, I think, off the top of my head, it's Ole Miss. Yeah, it would be Ole Miss that gets bumped out. It's just such an odd scenario. And then in the Sun Belt, we still don't know. It's going to come down to this week. I don't know where the tiebreakers lie because I don't think every team played each other. So it's going to come down to CFP rankings, I'm pretty sure. So if that does happen to be the case, it looks like App State is going to get that second spot. If all 3 of these teams win, it'll be App State and Coastal Carolina in the Sun Belt title game. For maybe they could be the ones, right? So right now the Sun Belt, I believe, is in front of both the Big 12 and the Conference USA, so they would be the ones that get the bump up in that case scenario in which Arkansas wins the SEC, opening up another bid stealer spot. Just wild stuff that could happen down the line. We'll take a quick look at the Heisman race. Just kind of show you what that's looking like as we enter the final stretch of games. If it ever loads, it'll be Quentin Martin Jr. who is leading the pack right now. Jonathan Taylor was on a bye last week, was not able to add to his numbers, but Martin has been unbelievable in the back half of the season, both in the run and the pass game. I mean, he's got 84 catches and over 1,100 yards in the air on top of his 1,200 on the ground. I just don't know if you're going to be able to catch that, especially because he has 20 rush touchdowns and then however many receiving touchdowns on top of that. Greg Burrell also in the running as well. Guy is unbelievable, consistent, 24 rushing touchdowns, nearly 2,000 yards rushing. And then Tavian St. Clair, who has 50 pass touchdowns. And you have to be very good in order to overcome that 20 interception mark. The turnovers usually buckle you down a little bit. But not for Tavian, because he's also got over $1,000 on the ground. He's been a really good player. Obviously, he's a 95 overall. Very different than some of the quarterbacks we've seen so far. Now that we've set the stakes, let's get into the action. Week 13 coming right now. We're going to start with the Oregon Ducks taking on the UCLA Bruins, number 7 team in the country, taking on number 2. And it was Ducks scoring first. UCLA would tie this thing up 7-7 on their next drive. Then the Ducks back down the field in the red zone. They find it yet again. Now up 4 after a UCLA field goal right before half. Ducks find the end zone again, 21-10 now, as we are late in the third quarter. Julian Lewis, he's going to buy some time in the pocket, find his running back, Jordan Davison, and find the end zone yet again. Oregon wins 49-17. They clinch their spot in the Big Ten championship game. Arkansas taking on Missouri. This is a big one, right? If Arkansas wins and LSU loses, the Razorbacks are in the SEC championship game. Well, it started great early for Arkansas, up 14-3 after 2 early touchdowns. Now in the second quarter, 3rd and goal for the Missouri Tigers. Just dancing in the pocket, sliding out just enough to find the crease. That is a Tiger touchdown, and they would find the end zone again all day in the pocket. Whoa! Are you kidding me? Yeah, I told you they would score. I didn't tell you how. That was some divine intervention type stuff, and they would score again, taking a 7-point lead. All of a sudden, Arkansas is trailing and trying to come from behind, and they would, on their next possession, find the end zone to tie this thing up at 24. Defense needs to make a stand. Oh, but that's not going to work right there. Breaking a tackle, and he is straight line speed gone. Missouri takes a touchdown lead yet again. On the ensuing kickoff, though, you know why I'm showing this to you. There was a crease. He hits it, and he is gone. Thomas is going to dance his way into the end zone. We are knotted up yet again. Man, this thing keeps going back and forth. Razorback defense forces a turnover, and then on the very first play, bang, touchdown Razorbacks. They go up 38-31 and would not look back. There's another one for you. 45-38 is your final. However, LSU won, and they will take on Kentucky in the SEC title game. Notre Dame and USC, this is a top 25 matchup, and Keyshawn Singleton is showing you all why he is one of the best wide receivers in the country. That spin move right there was disgusting. Now 14-10 after USC adds a score to the ballgame. Owen dropping out of the pocket. He's going to find his guy. Oh my God, Singleton's spin move again. That is just disgusting, embarrassing. That guy needs to sit on the bench and think about his life. I mean, seriously, what are we doing? And then finally, Jonathan Baylor finds the end zone. It felt like too long since we've seen him. Now 28-10. I mean, this is a rivalry game. Doesn't really feel like it with the way that Notre Dame is absolutely dominating. And then Singleton, third score, up and over, 42-17. Man, that is the Fighting Irish dominating the Trojans as a big win in Week 13. We've got some clean, old-fashioned hate with a playoff spot on the line. Georgia Tech already in the ACC title game. You can see they're number 12, and Georgia just on the outside is number 14. A win here could vault them into position. They get the touchdown, but the extra point is blocked by the Yellow Jackets. Then they would go down to score and take the lead. Defense makes another stop. Yellow Jackets with the ball again back in the red zone. And this is Amon King. Oh no! I thought he was going to make a play. He throws it right to the defense. And oh my God, he just doesn't want to make a tackle either. That is Cam Newton in Super Bowl 50. Touchdown Bulldogs. What a turn of events. They kicked the extra point. I would have gone for 2 there personally. But now it's 13-7 back in the red zone. This time King is going to find his tight end and is going to get in the end zone to take the lead right back. Now they're looking to extend it. King putting his head down on the QB sneak, crossing the plane. 4th and inches, up 21-16 after a Bulldog field goal. And that is going to end in 6. He needed a half. He got 38. And that is a Georgia lead now as we go 1 minute, 18 seconds left. 3rd and goal. This one could very well end it. And that ball is caught in the flat. Touchdown, Yellow Jackets. They get the 2-point conversion to go up a touchdown. 4th and 2. That is caught. Georgia stays alive. The clock is ticking. They face 4th down yet again. Quarterback drop back to pass. He's looking. He can't find anybody. He gets sacked. Ball comes out. Picked up by Georgia Tech. Clock in zeros. This thing is over. And the rambling wreck from Georgia Tech takes this one 35-22 and puts themselves in great position for the college football playoff. Elsewhere around the league, it wasn't that eventful of a week, surprisingly. Coastal Carolina dominates Texas State, and Coach Hardy Sonnenberger Jr. 75-7. No surprise there. Ohio with a 21-point win over Bowling Green. Quentin Martin Jr. finds the end zone for, I think, 3 more times to basically cement himself as the Heisman Trophy winner. By the way, Tavian St. Clair had himself quite the game in that battle against Texas State. Stanford able to beat Utah State, one of the hottest teams in the league right now, 38-15. Doesn't matter. Utah State gets to a bowl game. Nevada staying strong, winning that cannon, 48-10 over UNLV. Greg Burrell finds the end zone a couple of times as well. Jalen Shaw had himself a good game too. Marshall unable to really do much against Southern Miss, and Coach Tyler Dock 62-14 final on that one. Kentucky taking it to Louisville, 56-12, your final there, just complete obliteration. Baylor with a big win over Kansas, 55-28. Purdue, just Old Oaken Bucket is coming home, 55-23 in that game. Braden Trimble found the end zone a couple of times. Middle Tennessee with a big win over Liberty, 56-21. And then Washington, 43-22 over Texas. That Longhorn job may come open. That was a very, very bad season for Sark. I believe they won just 4 games this year. That will be our last scoreboard recap for the season 4 of the league, because We got conference championship week. We've got bowl games. We've got college football playoff. You're going to watch every single game that happened the rest of the way. Strap in, get ready, because it's coming to you right now. We head to Atlanta, where in the SEC championship game, LSU is trying to knock off Kentucky and be the first SEC team to beat the Wildcats this season. That throw is on the money, back in the end zone. Touchdown. LSU takes the early 7-0 lead. But not for long. Kentucky finding the end zone on the QB sneak, locking us back up at 7. Defense gets a stand and offense repays them, taking a 7-point lead this time with the running back. Then they're back in goal to go. Running back again finding the end zone. That is a 2-touchdown lead. A field goal from LSU would cut into the lead just a little bit, but this Kentucky offense would not be denied. 2nd and goal. Bang! That is a beautiful throw and catch from the Wildcats. 28-17 is your final. Kentucky is SEC champions. In the MAC title game, it was a question of not whether Ohio would win, but how much they would win by. And to answer, it was quite a bit. Tim Carpenter rolling out of the pocket, putting his head down. Got rocked, but listen, he scored the touchdown. Counts as 7 all the same. Another Bobcats scored, and they got a 14-0 lead. And then the defense, that's Jack Habbert forcing that fumble. The All-American who came back for one last go at this thing. Scoop and score 21-0 now. Defense gets another stop. We're still in the first half, by the way. And that's another Bobcat touchdown. 28-0. This is just brutal. 35-0 now. And are we going to get a special team score? Oh my God, we're going to get a special team score. Latimer putting on his Jets, and he is going to outrun the Ball State special team unit. That is going to be another touchdown. And yes, you see that score. 63-0 is your final. Just complete domination from the Bobcats. They are locked into the college football playoff. Coastal Carolina just trying to get some sort of shot, right? They're the number 13 team in the country. They want to get lucky, right? Maybe put them in the dance, see what they can do. Quarterback is electric, probably the most electric in college football. They're up 14-7 after giving up that opening touchdown. Just unbelievable. Andrew Olesh finds the end zone there. This is just methodical. This is surgical at this point. Underneath, get to block. Beautiful. Olesh finds the end zone yet again. 28-10 now as we enter the end of the third quarter. Get close to the fourth quarter. Up and over. 45-17 for the Chants. And now it is just sit and wait. Can they get into this dance? We will have to find out. A loss from the Wolfpack would do wonders for Coastal, but Nevada was not having any of that. 7-0 lead early after that long touchdown pass right there. But they're going up against a Heisman finalist, Matt Zollers. Wow, what a throw. That is on the money. Remember, Utah State was able to upset this San Diego State team, kind of keeping them out of the mix of the college football playoff. And they did that by slowing down Zollers. Maybe San Diego State needs to slow down Greg Burrell. That dude is unbelievable, finding the end zone for probably the 30th time this season. That's not actually what happened, but it's got to be close. And Zollers, oh my God. Listen, that one was a lot of running back, but that throw threaded a beautiful needle. And we're all knotted up at 14 yet again. If you want to beat Nevada, you have to corral number 21. Greg Burrell showing off the moves. Are you serious right now? They take the lead right back. Now the Nevada defense trying to make a stand here before halftime. And Zollers is going to fudge. What is that coverage? You're giving a Heisman Trophy finalist the easiest read of all time. We've got to be better. Teams exchange field goals in the third quarter. Man, it has been slow and methodical after the break. This time it is a Nevada touchdown. They find the end zone for the first time in the second half. Then the defense decided they were going to step up and shut down the San Diego State offense. Aztecs had no answers in the second half. Oh, broken tackle, touchdown, Nevada. They are going to the college football playoff. They are Mountain West Conference champions. This is a game that didn't mean too much in terms of the grand scheme of things, but under first-year head coach Noah Cavan, the Baylor Bears wanted to come out on top, and this is 10 wins we're talking about, right? We got a 7-7 ball game. Teams exchange touchdowns on their first drive, and that is a Baylor touchdown. I'm not sure what West Virginia was doing there, but it wasn't the answer. And then, open up that hole, ladies and gentlemen. That thing is just gaping. Now up 21-7. What you say we add to that lead? Bang! Another score for this Bear offense. And they were not finished in the first half still. Oh my God. Oh my God. What was that? Well, I'll tell you what. 42-14 is your final. Baylor finishes with 10 wins, and they win the Big 12 in year one of Noah Cavan. Amon King and the Georgia Tech offense were looking to put up points against this Duke team they beat in the regular season. They were the number 8 team in the country, so this would be big for college football playoff seeding. And it was Georgia Tech early on. Duke would answer with a touchdown of their own, but Amon King, you know what he's going to do here. He is a pro at this QB sneak, taking as much time off the clock as he can. He's going to put his head down. Center is going to help out just enough. 21-7 as we head into the break. And oh no, you cannot throw an outbreaking route that late. That one is jumped by the Duke defense, and the Blue Devils are dancing in the end zone. That is a crucial mistake. All of a sudden, we have ourselves a 7-point ball game. 3rd and 13, 2.5 minutes left in the third quarter. What a dot from King. Man, that is how you shake off an interception like that. And then the defense gets another stop. They're back in the red zone, and that's Phillips finding the end zone. That is a big win in Charlotte for Georgia Tech. They clinched their place in the college football playoff. Washington and Oregon. The Huskies trying to avenge their only regular season defeat at the hands of the Ducks. It would be James Sylvan on the receiving end of that Iosefa Lapuahu touchdown pass right there. And then the defense was playing phenomenally here in the first half. Sylvan for his second time before we hit the break. 14-0 now. As the clock gets under the 2 minute here in the first half, though, Julian Lewis and the offense finally got some things going out of the pocket. 3rd and 3. They get the touchdown right there. But would they be able to stop this Washington offense before halftime? The answer, no. Lapuahu, dime. Devontae Messina on the other end. That is a 21-7 lead. As we get to break and come out of it, Devin Shipman, end zone. 28-7 now Washington is up. This is turning into a massacre. Wow. The first game was 45-42. This one, 45-7 the other way. Washington making a statement with that win right there. We've got some snow in the Conference USA title game. Both of these teams are on the outside looking and going to need a lot of help. Middle Tennessee, though, trying to win for the 4th straight time in the championship game over Jacksonville State. But the Gamecocks found the end zone first. Man, sometimes that snow, it's hard to see the players with the white jersey. And then Jarius Shaw said, it's okay. I'm not impeded by this snow. I'm just faster than everybody. Tying this thing up at 7. Quick answers are what we love to see. Now 10-7 after a Middle Tennessee touchdown. Clock ticking before the halftime break. And we're going to get another Blue Raider touchdown. Go up by 10 heading into the half. Coming out, not too much happening, but Shaw would find the end zone again. This time a 17-point lead for the Blue Raiders. And then a little no-huddle action here from Jaden Davis and the Gamecocks trying to get their way back and claw a little bit. That is going to be a throw moving to his left. What a dot on the run. 10-point game now. This is big. Julian Duggar putting his head down, getting across the plane. Middle Tennessee able to win 31-14. This is your college football playoff bracket. It is everything we hoped for and everything we dreamed of. The only caveat is that for some unknown, godforsaken reason, Nevada and North Carolina switched spots despite Nevada winning their conference championship and North Carolina remaining idle. It makes no sense. Duke did not fall at all. I mean, they fell a couple of spots, which basically goes to show if you are in the playoff as a top 9 seed going into conference championship week and you lose to another ranked opponent, there is a likely chance that you are in regardless of what happens. I can't believe North Carolina made it at 9-3 over a Coastal Carolina team that went 12-1, but that's why you need better wins. That is the only explanation. So we have a user matchup in round number 1. We have Coach Hey Would You Blow Me taking on Coach Alfred Booth in round 1. This one will be at Oregon. A little West Coast action for you. And if I had to say right now today, Oregon is probably going to be favored in that game. Now, they're coming off a really tough loss in the Big Ten championship game. Didn't play well. Julian Lewis had probably his worst game of the season. Maybe his second worst game of the season. That Maryland one was pretty bad. I would imagine Oregon is in a pretty good spot. Talent-wise, the disparities are far too big, in my opinion, for Nevada to overcome, especially because we know what Nevada likes to do is run the ball. Oregon, one of the best run-stuffing teams in the country. Their front four is unbelievable at stopping the run, which would then set up a Big Ten matchup against Michigan in the Cotton Bowl in the quarterfinal. The same side of that bracket, the other first-round game, Ohio traveling to Death Valley to take on the LSU Tigers, who Kentucky beat in the SEC championship game. This is going to be a really tough one for the Bobcats. It's their first playoff appearance under Coach Sean Combs. Can they handle the hostile crowd of LSU for a team that likes to make a lot of checks to line of scrimmage? That is going to be the biggest storyline, in my opinion. Tim Carpenter in that environment, we know he's had some accuracy issues in the past, but we know that this team also has the athletes to keep up on the field with LSU. So I'm very interested to see what happens there. I think LSU is favored in that game. I would probably favor them by 5 points, 5.5 points, something like that. But don't count out the Bobcats. There is a very real chance they could pull off the upset against LSU and then take on Kentucky in the quarterfinal in the All-State Sugar Bowl. And then we have the ACC matchup. They didn't play in the regular season, but North Carolina didn't have any big wins. Yet somehow 9-3 is enough for them to get in the play. Their record and their placing in the college football playoff, to me, is a complete and utter joke. Which means that Georgia Tech is going to have probably the easiest first-round matchup of any team in the college football playoff. Coach Aiden Crowley has his chance to make some noise in the first round. And it would set up a rematch with a Notre Dame team that beat them in their place at week 2 or 3. It was early on in the season. But this Georgia Tech team is playing much better at this point than they were back then. They've won a lot of games in a row. So Georgia Tech is absolutely favored in round 1, and then they would have the matchup against Notre Dame in round 2. And then there are no user games in the last first round game that we're going to talk about, our 7 versus 10. Ole Miss versus Duke, that one at Ole Miss. This Duke team simulates insanely well, something that we have never seen before. Two of their losses have come against Georgia Tech in user-played games. I don't know what else to tell you. They sim insanely well. I would not be surprised if Duke wins this game. If they don't, this Ole Miss team is also really good. We saw them, this season against Arkansas. Arkansas was able to win that game, actually, I think it was in Oxford as well. So, who knows if this Ole Miss team is actually worth their salt. But they'll take on Duke, and the winner of that game will go to the Rose Bowl to take on the Washington Huskies, your Big Ten champs. Coach Doc Hudson, reigning national champion head coach, probably has the best path to the national championship game, if we're being completely honest. The fact that you essentially have a CPU matchup to go to the semifinal game is unbelievably lucky. That Big Ten win mattered far more than I think we realized. You only have to win one game, and it's against the CPU. Everybody else maybe not, might not be so lucky. So, I'm very intrigued to see what will happen here. And then, there's always the possibility that we get a Washington-Notre Dame rematch of week 1 in the semifinal, which would be very fun, very cool. That would be another fun game. And then, who knows what could happen up top. I mean, we saw Ohio beat Kentucky this season. That is Kentucky's one loss on the year. They traveled to Athens and lost that football game. Could the Bobcats find themselves in the semifinal game playing a Oregon, Nevada, or Michigan? Who knows? We really have no idea. So I'm very excited to see what happens here. Without further ado, let's just get started. I am going to make you wait a little bit longer for those college football playoff games because we got to rip through these bowl games first. Utah State taking on MAC champion runner-up Ball State in the Arizona Bowl. I forgot what bowl it was there for a second. Aggies went up 10-0 early. This would be a huge win for them. Oh, that's not great defense there. Great effort, though, on the receiver's part to get into the end zone. But then right back down the field, the Aggies come 17-7. Now late in the third quarter, 54 seconds left. That's a handoff there from Ball State where is the Aggie defense? Oh, Utah State, what are we doing? Coach Eric Taylor's looking for that first bowl game victory. I mean, this would be huge for him. That ball is caught in the flat. That is a nasty juke. Oh, my God. 10-point lead now for Utah State. Let's see what they can do defensively. What do we have? Oh, he's on the run. Oh, he just misses it. Oh, that was almost perfect. We are 4th and 1, under a minute left. This could seal it. I mean, this is huge. This big play. And they get it. Utah State, 7 wins. Bowl win. I mean, you name it. This was a great finish to the year for Utah State. Checking out the Boca Raton Bowl, we've got Coastal Carolina and Missouri State. We've got the Sun Belt champion with the third-place team in the Conference USA, and it was the Bears getting on the board early. That was a great pass rolling out of the pocket on the run. Just a little bit of action, and then it's Josh Joyner Oh my God, showing off the agility, and he's just faster than this Coastal defense. 14-0 lead now for Missouri State. Not sure too many people expected this. We're talking about a team that was just on the outside of the college football playoff. That would be some shocking stuff if Missouri State was able to win this game. Committee might have avoided something catastrophic at this point. Yeah, you can see the lag is a problem. It's a little back and forth there. 21-7 now after that Missouri State touchdown. We gotta figure some things out on Coastal Carolina's end, and that'll do it right there. Just a little take off on that end. It's just fast. That's speed from Clark. There's not much you can do about that. That Coastal team has some speed that you don't really find unless you're at the Power 4 level. The defense, though, has the IQ of a 2-year-old that was dropped on his head 15 times as a kid. Yeah, it's bad. But Tavian St. Clair says, I'm going to put the team on my back, and I'm going to try and keep us in this ball game. They go for 2. Now it's a 6-point game. Now you go for 2 thinking that, hey, if we score again, we can take the lead. The flip side of that is you have to get the stop, and the defense can't get the stop. And then Missouri State goes for 2, negating that. And then Coastal Carolina comes back, and they do the same thing, get the 2-point again. But again, the defense doesn't get the stop. In fact, they give up a touchdown, and that would be the touchdown that sealed the game. Missouri State pulling off the massive upset win over Coastal Carolina, 43-30. It's a good thing the Chants got left out of the playoff. That could have been bad. Baylor taking on Oregon State in the Alamo Bowl. What do we always remember? 9/11 and the Alamo. We will never, ever forget the Alamo, and clearly Baylor didn't forget. They were showing it a lot of pride, a lot of justice. They came to play in this one, 21-3 before you even blink. It's just a complete massacre. Oregon State was able to find the end zone, but it might have been a net negative for them because Baylor just took the kick return back for a touchdown. I mean, that is the most deflating thing in all of college football. Like, all of football. If you score, other team takes the kick back for a touchdown. It's like, well, what was that for? Well, Oregon State got a field goal, and then the very first play, so they didn't return the kick. Instead, what they did was they ran a bubble screen and then scored a touchdown. It was, I mean, from start to finish, this was all Baylor. This was Noah Cavin putting his nuts on the table, putting his nuts on Oregon State's forehead and telling him who daddy was. That was what that game was from start to finish. Delaware taking on the runner-ups in the Big 12, West Virginia. You know, this is a big one for Delaware, right? We talked about them getting to, 9 wins a couple of seasons ago. They're at 7. Getting to 8 would be, hey, we're stepping back in the right direction. Oh my God, was that like a 70-yard throw on the money? Well, that lead is evaporated a little bit there for the Blue Hens, but stop, cut on a dime, put your head down. Bigger, faster, stronger. That's what that was. CUSA over Big 12. That is what I'm seeing on the field right now. Oh, that was a beautiful throw. Just press the seam right over the middle. Delaware goes down, kicks a field goal, so they got a 6-point lead now, but West Virginia threatening, and they would give an outside handoff. Oh, that was just awful pursuit from the Blue Hen defense, and we've got a West Virginia lead for the first time today. Doesn't matter, though. Blue Hens, bang, coming right back at them. Then they also will kick another field goal, take a 10-point lead yet again. I mean, this is beautiful football from the Blue Hens. West Virginia would score, but it didn't matter. Delaware got the onside kick and ended this thing. 31-28. Basically, what I'm seeing is Conference USA is the toughest conference in all of college football. That's pretty much what I'm seeing. Arkansas and Miami in the Gasparilla Bowl. It was Miami getting on the board first, but it was Arkansas that had a 10-point answer to take the 10-7 lead, and then they would say that's not enough. Coming out of the break, second play of the second half, that is a 70-yard touchdown, taking the 10-point lead. Razorback defense, though, however, didn't have their best drive on this one. That is a easy lane. I mean, you could drive a semi through that one. Yeah, it's kind of what your mom looks like. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that was uncalled for. I didn't mean to do that. Arkansas find the end zone yet again, taking the 10-point lead right back. But the defense just getting leveled, pancaked, mollywopped, cooked. Whatever adjective you want to use, you could use it. And then the offense got stuffed. The defense just getting bitched again. Are you kidding me? I mean, where is the front 4? Where's the front 7? Doesn't matter, though, because this offense finally found the end zone yet again. Now we just need the defense to make one stand. Just make one stop, please. I just need one. 3rd and 10, 50 seconds left. That ball is chucked up and picked off, and your Gasparilla Bowl champions are the Arkansas Razorbacks. Put them on the table. Let them hang. 9-win Razorbacks. Coach Lou Brown, I know he is celebrating that one big time. Purdue and Auburn, man, this Auburn team is sorry. The only reason they're here is because they're an SEC team. This Purdue team put belt to ass from start to finish. From opening whistle to closing whistle, this was just a complete massacre. Danny O'Neal on the run. You're not catching him. SE speed, my ass. 17-0 now. Make that 24-0. I told you this was belt to ass. Opening whistle, closing whistle. It wasn't fair. It wasn't fair. O'Neal, again. That's right, Auburn didn't score in this ball game. It was embarrassing. It was truly embarrassing. And then Middle Tennessee and Southern Miss squared off in some more Sunbelt CUSA action, and unfortunately for Conference USA, this is where the rubber met the road. The Golden Eagles had everything they wanted and more. Cam Dyer just played one of the best games you'll see a quarterback play, regardless of who they're playing, competition, what the game was. Oh my God, what? Oh, that was disgusting. I mean, just what did Julian Duggar see on that one? I'd love to know. Whatever he saw, it was a touchdown for the other team. You got to be better than that, my guy. So we got 21-0 and Duggar. Great response. Jarius Shaw just up the seam. You're not catching him. You're just not catching him. It was a good idea to just stop running because, there was no use there. So it's a 14-point game now for Southern Miss, and then Dyer rolling out of the pocket on the run. Oh, disgusting. I want to puke. That was okay. That was a little much. I'm sorry. I got a little over my skis there. At least Duggar came back down the field, finding Eugene Hilton for the touchdown right there. It's back to a 14-point ball game. I mean, you just need a couple stops here, get a couple scores. You're right back in this if you're Middle Tennessee. The problem was Cam Dyer was unstoppable. I mean, the location of that ball, that was perfect placement, and it's why it resulted in a touchdown. Oh, we're going to a little boot action here from Julian Duggar. Oh, he's got a guy wide open. That was Lincoln Kier in the end zone. Go for 2. Don't get it. Okay, we got a 15-point ball game now. Kind of in a little bit of a hole, but it's okay. Oh, we tried to bring the heat, but we got burnt on that one. That is. Oh, my God. That's dancing on the grave. Rubbing salt in the wound. Oh, man, that was ugly. Okay. I made you wait long enough. If you made it to the 37-minute mark in this episode, you are finally going to be able to watch the college football playoff. We're going to start with the first round, and we're going to start at the top, Nevada and Oregon. I hope you're ready. Hope you got your popcorn, because this thing is going to be nonstop from beginning to national championship. So lock in, strap in, do whatever you got to do to get ready, because it starts right now. Oregon, Nevada, 12-5. Man, if that doesn't show you what today is going to be like, man, you better watch out, because this Oregon team came ready to play. They did not like how the Big Ten championship game went, and it felt like no matter what Nevada tried to do, they were in the way of a buzzsaw. And I mean, this is a great touchdown right here for the big guy, wearing number 86, looking like an offensive lineman. He's got 2 knee braces on. He's not going to get caught. He's going to find the end zone. But that was the only time they would score again until the very last drive of the game. 14-7. Vanderploeg finds the end zone. 21-7. Offense back in the red zone or close to it. They are. They're out to 19. Julian Lewis. Oh, my God. That's how you navigate the pocket. It's another touchdown. 28-7. We've got 2 minutes under the 2-minute mark. Oh, that ball is out. Ball is picked off, and he's going to score. That's Mr. Sims right there. Not even the running back, Greg Burrell, can do anything. He's just not big enough. He's not fast enough. He's not strong enough. This is just, unfair. I know Coach Crowley was vehemently saying the group of 5 should not even be in the playoff. It's 42-7. Maybe he's right. Maybe he's got an argument. Although, let's be honest. Vanderploeg, another touchdown. Group of 5 team won the national championship last year. So, I don't know. Maybe they belong. Maybe just not this Nevada team. 49-14. At least they scored. Okay, so let's take a deep breath. Let's zoom back out. And then we're going to zoom right back in, because we've got Ohio and LSU for a chance to play Kentucky. That's right. We could have Ohio and Kentucky playing each other again. We could also have LSU playing Kentucky again. It really is just going to be a rematch for Kentucky, and it's going to be the Heisman Trophy winner. Yes, he won. I don't know if I told you guys that already. He won the Heisman Trophy. He scored a touchdown there. Oh, Tim Carpenter, you terrorist. What was that throw? What are you doing? Make the tackle. Oh, my God, Tim. You're going to kill me. You're going to single-handedly ruin the Ohio Bobcats' playoff chances. Oh, Quentin Martin. Oh, Quentin Martin. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I don't think the SEC has seen speed like this before. You know, there's one thing about SEC speed, but that's Quentin Martin Jr.'s speed. That is ridiculous. Oh, no. Oh, he's going to get sacked. Ball comes out. Oh, it's scooped up. Bobcats. Oh, my God. The Ohio Bobcats are up 21-7 now, and we haven't even entered the second quarter. Now we have. We can't bring heat like that. There's no way we got the athletes in the back end to really deal with that. There's no way. Quentin Martin Jr. again. Oh, my God. He's so unbelievably fast. I mean, she doesn't even get touched. This guy is unbelievable. There's a reason he won the Heisman Trophy, I guess. Good gracious. I mean, we never really saw much of Ohio because they were just beating the piss out of everybody because of that guy. Wait, that's not Quentin Martin Jr. It doesn't matter because Ohio beat the crap out of LSU. They win 38-28. They set up a rematch with Kentucky. They're the only team to beat Kentucky this season, and they're going to play them again. Oh my God, I feel like I'm out of breath now. Well, we can't take too long of a break because we got North Carolina and we got Georgia Tech. We got an ACC matchup that did not happen in the regular season for a chance to play Notre Dame in the Orange Bowl. I mean, this is big. This is what you ask for. This is what you dream of if you're the ACC. And I mean, let's be honest. Georgia Tech won the ACC. They should be playing in the Orange Bowl. Well, somebody should tell North Carolina that because they took an early 10-0 lead, and it was the second quarter before Georgia Tech even sniffed the end zone, and then it was Ahmad King rolling out of the pocket. Man, this guy's got some wheels. He's got some wheels, and he can move a little bit too. A couple field goals from North Carolina later and Georgia Tech. We got a 16-10 ball game, and it was the Yellow Jackets putting it down and running it down the throat of North Carolina to find the end zone to take the 17-16 lead, and then they would find it again and end this thing winning 23-16. It wasn't super eventful. Not too many scoring plays happened, but it was enough. I think Georgia Tech finished the game with like 11 sacks. It was ridiculous. Gio Lopez was in a blender. He had no idea what was coming. So Georgia Tech is going to take on Notre Dame. Duke and Ole Miss, that game went to Ole Miss. So Ole Miss set up a matchup with Washington there in the Rose Bowl. But we're going to start with a rematch from the beginning of the season, Ohio and Kentucky. The Bobcats versus the Wildcats, and it was the Bobcats getting on the board first. This is a Sugar Bowl for the ages for the Ohio Bobcat offense. Man, I told you that speed is different. You didn't believe me, but maybe now you will. Because that is just beating a guy to the outside, running parallel so he can't catch you, and then finding the end zone. And then, are you kidding me? The stop on a dimeness. He can move laterally like Shady, but he's got the straight line speed like Jamal Charles. It does not make any sense. Carl Stacey finds the end zone. That is a 28-3 score as we are in the third quarter. Martin again. Are you kidding me? 35-3 over the number one team in the country. This is embarrassing for Kentucky, but they would find the end zone eventually. Didn't matter though. They lost 38-17 in their first ever playoff game under Coach Mike Roth. And Coach Mike Roth's first ever playoff game. He's been talking about being left out, and then that's the showing he gives us in his first ever playoff game. Well, we got another rematch. We got Georgia Tech. We got Notre Dame. This is going to be a fun one. Tyrell Owen. Oh my God, what a throw! That's Singleton. Who's number 82 then? Is that the tight end? I might have just said the wrong person that entire last Notre Dame game against USC that we watched. That's on me. Well, let's focus on this game. It's 7-7. Georgia Tech trying to avenge that regular season loss, move on to a potential matchup with either Ole Miss or Washington. That run right there is certainly going to help. I mean, 3rd and 1, you only need one. We'll take everything. Give me everything you got. That's like going into a store and saying, hey, put all the money in the bag right now. 21-7. Nobody saw this one coming, I imagine. Well, maybe Coach Crawley did, but nobody thought this would be a 14-point ball game at any point in favor of Georgia Tech. Oh, my God. Owen on the run. Oh, what a throw and catch. Is that Singleton again? I think that one was Singleton. It's so hard. All of these players look the same on Notre Dame. It is so hard to tell them apart. Okay? Oh, that's another Georgia Tech touchdown. Oh, baby. Oh, but Notre Dame's going to march right down the field, and they're going to score again, aren't they? Yes, they will. So it's a 7-point game going into the half. Yellow Jackets add a field goal, and then Notre Dame on their first possession of the second half. And play action, Jonathan Baylor. Haven't seen him yet today, so it was due time before we saw the two-time Heisman Trophy winner, unable to win it this year, but did finish second. And then they would tie it up, Notre Dame would, with another field goal. So it just went from 10-point lead to 0, just like that for Georgia Tech. And then Notre Dame snapped it back, got their first lead of the game here, 38-31. And then number 22, I've seen nothing of this guy this entire year. I don't even know his name. And he scored 2 touchdowns here in the Orange Bowl. Like, what the hell happened? I don't know. Okay, Notre Dame back and goal to go. And that's a laser Irish back out in front. Okay, we got a minute left, 3rd and 13. Georgia Tech needs a touchdown. You have to imagine if they get it, they're going to go for 2. Rolling out of the pocket. King. What's he going to do? Oh, my God. Dangerous throw. He's got him. Oh, no. Ball on the ground. Picked up by Notre Dame, and they're going to win it. Oh, my God. Wow. I am at a loss for words right now. Wow. Well, they're going to take on the winner of this game, Washington Ole Miss, and it's the Huskies getting on the board first. Marcus Harris finding the end zone on the bubble right there. And then we got Lapua, who's feeling the pressure. He's going to get it out to Audric Harris, and he's going to find the end zone. So we got a 14-0 lead here early for Washington. 19 seconds left in the first half. 2nd and goal. Lapuahu putting his head down, touchdown. 21-0 going into the halftime break, and then coming out of it, it would be more Husky football. 28-0. Now Shipman finding the end zone right there. Man, this is crazy. This is supposed to be the number 7 team in the country. Lapuahu, oh my God, it's just surgical. 35-0. No, they're not going to do it again. They're not going to. Please tell me they're not going to score again. Lapuahu. Oh, this time it's Marcus Harris again. That's a touchdown. 49-7. Get out of here. Man, that's your Rose Bowl champs, the Washington Huskies. And they will take on Notre Dame for another rematch. Michigan, Oregon, some Big Ten action. These two teams did not play in the regular season, and Julian Lewis is showing Michigan they probably wish they did, because on the first time of playing this kid, he always plays his best ball. 7-0 now, but this Michigan rushing attack, man, they kind of did whatever they wanted early in this one. 7-7 ball game. How about Vanderploeg? Vanderploeg. I just love that guy's name. I did not know he was a real person. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I thought that was a game-generated name. Did not think he was a real person. When I found out he was, I was like, that is now my favorite player in college football. Apparently, Mr. Perry there for the Ducks is also somebody's favorite player in college football, because that's another touchdown right there. Who is this 47 guy? Because that is his 2nd touchdown of the game. Obviously, I don't think anybody played Michigan in the Big Ten, which is just wild to think about. Plug. So we don't really know anything about this team. They're a completely different team than what we saw the last couple of times that Middle Tennessee played them. But this number 47 kid is unbelievable. That is his 3rd touchdown already. Come on. Oh, he's not going to score again, is he? Oh, my God, he is. That's his 4th touchdown of the game. And all of a sudden, we got ourselves a tie ball game. Oregon was up by 2 touchdowns at one point. I don't know what happened, but we're starting to get to crunch time. 3:40 left in the 4th quarter. You just got to use up all this clock as much as you can. Whoop! Oh, my God. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 guys got just absolutely bitched by that spin move. Just made a fool. 4th and goal. Need a stop. Oregon defense, give me something. Hand goes immediately in the head. Because we do got some free football. So I'll at least take that. That's an easy score right there for Davison. Okay, so defense, please do something for me, please. Just give me a stop. Give me Oregon versus Ohio in the semifinals, please. Defense, why are you doing this to me? Okay, please stop. First possession of the 2nd overtime. This is Michigan. On the give, tackled him in the ass. God damn it, man. Okay, so obviously you go for 2 in the 2nd overtime. So this is Michigan's 2-point attempt. Let's get a stop here. Okay, that's fine. Just get a score. Get the 2-point conversion. We'll just go to the 2-point off, okay? Oh, my God, Perry. Oh, my God. That's his 3rd touchdown of the game. This dude is unbelievable. Okay, now it's time for the 2-point conversion. You have to get this. If you don't, your season's over. It's over. It's done. You're not playing anymore. Plug! Wide open. You just can't leave that guy that open. It is just stupid. whoever did that, whoever told them to do that is just dumb. Okay, so now we're in the 2-point off, and oh my God, Oregon is going to false start on their first one. Why are you celebrating? You buffoon! You idiot! You have cost your team valuable yards in a 2-point off scenario. Oh, Julian, please find somebody. No! Ball on the ground. Okay, defense. You haven't done it for me at all lately. I need a stop. Give me one, and we'll play more football. Please. No. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oregon loses a heartbreaker. A heartbreaker, and it's going to be Michigan, Ohio in the semifinals. Okay, no time to lament because we got a semifinal game, Washington, Notre Dame, Doc Hudson versus Cam King. This is a rematch of last year's national championship game. It's a rematch of week 1 this year, and it's going to be a 14-0 lead early for Washington. You know it's not going to stay, or 13-0, excuse me, missed extra point. Good Lord. You know it's not going to stay that way for long because this Notre Dame offense has too much firepower. Jonathan Baylor finds the end zone right there. Defense making a couple stops too. Owen. Oh, he's going to find his guy in the middle of the field, and they're going to take the lead. That is the first lead of the game for the Fighting Irish. Okay, go back down to the other end of the field. This is at the 22-yard line. Oh my, what an open window over the middle of the field. Isaiah Butler Tanner. Touchdown, Huskies. They take the lead right back. They go for 2. They get it. 21-14 now. We go to the second half. 6:25 left in the third quarter. Oh, what a throw from Owen. What a catch from Keyshawn Singleton. No, that's not Singleton. That's a different guy. I'm going to learn eventually. Marcus Harris on the ensuing kickoff. He's got a hole, and he is goodbye, baby. See ya. He is gone. They're not catching him. That is another kick return touchdown on Notre Dame this year for the Washington Huskies. Doesn't happen too often. And then we add a field goal, so they go up 31-21. But then Daniel Bray, just follow the leader, and he'll take you to the promised land. My goodness. So 31-28, 2:48 left in this one. Need a big drive here for the Huskies. Wahoo! What is that throw? You madman. Why would you ever make that throw? Are you kidding me? Rolling right across his body, Silva down to the 2-yard line. I have no idea what possesses somebody to make that decision. That is insane. Julian McMahon, touchdown. 10-point lead for Washington yet again, but this Notre Dame offense, we know they can move quickly. This is big. They've kept all 3 of their timeouts. 3rd and 6. Tyrell Owen, he's looking down the field. He's got a couple of guys. Does he have anything? Oh my God, he's going to get picked off. And Doc Hudson is going back to the national championship game. What a finish to this one. Who will they play? Will it be Ohio or will it be Michigan? We will find out right here, right now. Bobcats on defense to start, and they give up a 3rd and 11 touchdown. Unfortunate start to the game for Ohio, but when you have the Heisman Trophy winner, who is literally Usain Bolt mixed with Tyreek Hill, it does not matter. He scores right there, and I'm going to break it to you again. He's going to score again. I mean, just look at how fast this guy is. I genuinely don't think some of these teams have seen a guy this fast, and that is why they can never like have proper angles on him. Because it's like, how are you supposed to know what angle to take on Jesus? Like that's kind of what I'm talking about. The blitz heavy. I mean, I don't know how many times I've told Coach Combs to stop blitzing, man blitzing like this, but he continues to do it. I guess he's gotten this far. Carl Stacy. Oh my God, Carl Stacy. Wow, what a play. Man, these Bobcats are out-athleting Michigan right now. When did you ever think that was going to happen? Well, I don't think you're catching him. That's another Michigan touchdown. Tit for tat. Every time Ohio scores, Michigan seems to have the answer. 19 seconds left in the first half. 1st and goal for the Bobcats, and it's Martin again. That is his 3rd score of the game. They take the 28-21 lead going into halftime, and they played this middle 8 perfectly. Why? Because they added one before the break, before Michigan could touch the ball. They get the ball coming out of the break, and they now have a 14-point lead, 35-21 Bobcats. Michigan would add a field goal, but they should know that you cannot match touchdowns with field goals. They tried, they failed. Ohio headed to the national championship game, and that sets up our 2nd consecutive user versus user national championship game. We've got another group of 5 participant in the Ohio Bobcats, and they are taking on the former reigning, defending, national champion winning head coach Doc Hudson with his new team, the Washington Huskies. This is a game that we have waited for all year long. We had an idea of who the cream of the crop was this season, and to see it finally come to fruition in this game, in Raymond James Stadium of all places. It feels cathartic. This is a rematch of last year. So this would be season 3, in which the Ohio Bobcats gave Doc Hudson the only loss they had all year long on their way to winning the national championship. It's time for some revenge. It can be some vengeance here for this Washington offense. Well, we'll have to wait and see. Bobcats start this thing off with a field goal. They go up 3-0. What does this Husky offense have in store? That is the question. Lapua rolling out of the pocket. He's going to find his receiver over the middle of the field, and he's got plenty of room to run. This is Andre Harris. Oh, he makes a man miss in the open field, and that is a quick touchdown. 2 plays into this game, Huskies are on the board. What can this defense do? 7-3 now. Tim Carpenter drops back to pass. He's got all day in the pocket. What a throw! Not sure what that corner was doing. Didn't make a play on it, but hey, results in 7 for the Bobcats. And then back on offense, Huskies finding the crease. That is a touchdown. Man, I mean, we're going back and forth in this one. It feels like 14-10 now. Ohio back in goal to go, and that is another Quentin Martin Jr. touchdown. I feel like we've seen that so many times this season. 3rd and 1 for the Huskies. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Oh, this spin move. This is kind of like deja vu from the Georgia Tech Notre Dame game. Well, Washington takes the lead 21-17. 30 seconds left in the half. Martin again finding the end zone. So Ohio would have the lead coming out of the break, trailing 24-21. Washington started with the, oh my God, ball on the ground. Lapua who fumbled it. Oh my God, Ohio's going to score. Well, you've now lost serve, so that sucks. You need to keep up as much as you can. Defense is going to have to make a stop at some point. Makari Bodiford finds the end zone, 3-point game yet again. You have to get the stop, though. That is the key here. Can you stop this offense that has pretty much torched you the entire game? Tim Carpenter underneath to Quentin Martin Jr. Oh, my God. You let him get the ball in space. Oh, no. Touchdown. Bobcats. Are you kidding me? That guy's got... every time I see him run, it's like, how can somebody be that fast? Bodiford. Oh, my God. The stiff arm. Are you kidding me? This is the national championship for a reason, folks. I mean, we're seeing some of the best in the nation. 4th and 14. Oh my God, he's going for it. Oh my God, Coach Combs he's a lunatic. What possesses you to even think about going for a 4th and 14 in your own territory, up 3? Oh my God, he got it. Oh my God, he got it. And they're going to march down and kick a field goal. That is huge. I mean, that is massive. Washington, obviously, they need to score. They don't have much time to do it. They're getting the screws put to them a little bit. Lapua, who dropping back to pass. He tries to force one, and he's picked off. The Ohio Bobcats are going to win the national championship. Back-to-back seasons with a G5 champion. Take that, Coach Crowley. So as we recap 2028, we first look at the 2028 college football playoff. Obviously, it started with a bang. Nevada, Oregon. Oregon just put the screws to the Wolfpack. Looked like they did not belong in the field. Then you had your Ohio Bobcats traveling to Death Valley, pulling out a 10-point win against the LSU Tigers. Georgia Tech, in a game that was one of the uglier ones you will ever see, pulls out a victory, their first ever playoff win under Coach Aiden Crowley against North Carolina. And then Ole Miss beats out Duke in that 10-7 matchup. As we went to the quarterfinal games, Washington just manhandled Ole Miss 49-7 in the Rose Bowl. Notre Dame with a big win over Georgia Tech in the Capital One Orange Bowl. That one was a very fun one. Came down to the wire. Georgia Tech gave them their all, but that Notre Dame team just outlasted them a little too much. And then Ohio dominating Kentucky in the Sugar Bowl. That one was, I think it was unexpected. I think it was shocking. The result it was 31-3 at one point, I believe, if I remember correctly. So things did not go the Wildcats' way, and the Bobcats just dominated. And then the all-time classic that we had in the Cotton Bowl, Oregon falls to Michigan 52-50 in overtime. Yeah, it was a tough one. Oregon was up 21-7 at one point and just could not hold on to the lead. Team sold left and right. Michigan able to win. Unfortunate for Coach Booth. But he didn't come out of the playoff winless, and that's the big thing. And then in the semifinal, Washington over Notre Dame in a very fun game in the Fiesta Bowl. That was another classic between those two coaches. And then Ohio just, does what they do against Michigan, beats them by 18 to set up a Washington versus Ohio national championship, and you just saw it. It was one of the better games that we've seen in this season, and it delivered. The fumble recovery by the Bobcat defense was the turning point for them, and they were able to hold on until the end. Just what a fun game that was. The Heisman Trophy winner able to win the national championship, Quentin Martin Jr. What a player he is. As we go and take a look at the final top 25, we will see kind of where everybody finished. Obviously, Ohio number 1, Washington 2, Notre Dame 3, Kentucky drops to 4, Michigan 5, Georgia Tech stands pat at 6, Oregon at 7, LSU 8, North Carolina 9, Ole Miss 10, Duke, App State, Syracuse, Nevada falls to 14, Baylor up to 15, Jacksonville State at 16, Coastal Carolina falls to 17 after their bowl loss to the Missouri State Bears. Purdue up to 18, Old Dominion 19, UCLA 20, Middle Tennessee 21, Colorado 22, Toledo finishes 23, and then Oregon State and Southern Miss round it out. Let's take a look real quick at the conference standings just to kind of gauge where we won't do the full in-depth like we have in the past. But Oregon, finishes the year 12-3, played in the Big Ten championship game, came up short. Made it to the playoff, won round 1, lost round 2. I think you have to be pretty happy with how this season went in year 1 under Coach Booth. We'll see if that continues as we get into year 5. Washington gets back to the national championship game, wins their 4th straight conference title, unable to win another national championship. That was a heartbreaker. Played well enough offensively, I thought, outside of that one fumble that Iosef Olapuahu had, and then defense just could not stop that Ohio Bobcat offense, and it's tough, man. They got a lot of dudes that just got serious speed. Purdue, I don't know. Listen, at the beginning of the year, if you told me Purdue would finish with 10 wins, I'd call you crazy. They finished with 10 wins, and they look damn good doing it, too. They're under a great coach in Chuck Downfield. Listen, give him a full offseason to get his guys in the building. I would watch out for this Purdue Boilermaker team. Let's go up to the ACC, where Georgia Tech held everybody off and was able to pull out a 12-3 record, winning the conference. I think this was a great season in year 1. Coach Crawley said it. This was a kind of a rebuild year. It's a young team. This is going to be a scary, scary team in the future. And I think that the ACC should be very, very scared for what's about to come down the pipeline. Atlanta is rocking. And then in the Big 12, it was Baylor that was able to come away victorious in that one. Obviously, Coach Noah Kevin was gone for a little bit on suspension, but he came back, won a couple of ball games, finished 11-3, won the conference. That's exactly what you're looking for if you're the Baylor Bears. And then Kansas, Coach Hugh Janus kind of went MIA there at the end of the season. They pull out a 7-win season, make a bowl game. Hey, listen, nobody said it was going to be pretty, but they were able to do so. It's the most wins Coach Janus has had in his career. And whether or not he's on the sideline, he is the head coach, and so they will go under his record belt. As we look at the Conference USA, it was Middle Tennessee that finished 11-3. They won the conference, beat Jacksonville State in that conference title game. It's a 4th straight conference title for the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders. What more to say? They've dominated Conference USA since they hired Coach Doc Hudson, and then they continued that trend with Hingle McCringleberry. Missouri State finishes with their best record under Dustin Wagner. Came ever so close to challenging for that conference title spot. And then Delaware finishes with 8 wins, still trying to chase that 9-win season that they had in season number 2. Unable to get there this year. They finished 8-5, though, win their bowl game. So overall, okay season for Delaware. Notre Dame finishes the regular season 11-1. That one loss coming to Washington in week 1. And then they would see their season end to Washington again, this time in the not the Rose Bowl. We just talked about it. It was the Fiesta Bowl. You have to feel pretty, at least happy with where this season went for the Fighting Irish. No Heisman Trophy winner for the first time under Coach Cam King. He's had 3 of them, unable to get one this season. Won a playoff game. I think if you were to ask Notre Dame at the beginning of the season what their expectations were, it would probably be national championship. So you do fall short of that. But I think you can't be super disappointed with the season just because you played really well. I think you have to be proud of how you played. In the MAC, obviously the national champion Ohio Bobcats finished the year 16-1. Listen, man, they shouldn't have been a 9 seed. if we're being completely honest. They should have been a little bit higher. They were disrespected there. They come away just absolutely beating the piss out of teams. It's really what it comes down to. They scored so many points. The MAC just had no answers. Quentin Martin Jr. is one of the best players I've ever seen play the game of football. There's a reason why he was the Heisman Trophy winner. Unbelievable player. In the Mountain West, Nevada, great season, made the college football playoff. Did get embarrassed in that game, but ran through the Mountain West Conference, did everything they needed to do to put themselves in position to make the college football playoff, and they did. Greg Burrell was awesome. Shaw was awesome as well. A nice 1-2 head, 1-2 RB punch. I don't really know where I was going with that, but I think you guys got the gist there. And then Utah State finishes with their first ever bowl win under Coach Eric Taylor. Did finish with a 500 record, over 500 record in conference as well. That's the first time that's happened. So overall, I think it was a good season for Utah State. Hopefully they can continue that trend next year. In the SEC, we saw Kentucky win the conference. They went to 12-2. Unfortunately, they weren't able to win in the playoff. They went up against I don't want to call them a buzzsaw, but man, that Ohio team was playing some really good football. You would probably like a little bit better of a performance in that game, but you know what? Sometimes you just come out flat, and that was one of those games. Unfortunate for the Wildcats in that one. And then the Arkansas Razorbacks finished 9-4. Get the bowl win. I would say this is probably a disappointing season for Arkansas. Listen, it's tough when you just don't have the same resources that some of these other teams do. But, didn't even finish the year ranked. And this is a talented team, and they're well coached. It was just, some time things, like you talk about weird bounce of balls. Sometimes it happens, and you get the short end of the stick, and I feel like that happened to Arkansas quite a bit this season. And then in the Sun Belt, it was Coastal Carolina who finished the year 12-2, 8-0 in conference. They won the Sun Belt. They weren't going to make the playoff. It was an outside shot. That loss to Arkansas really hurt their resume. But they finished the season with a loss in their bowl game to Missouri State. So, those two losses were not great, man. But listen, you won 12 games, and that's something to certainly be happy about. This team is set up well for the future. Pavian St. Clair is gone, though, so it'll be interesting to see kind of how this team looks next season. Southern Miss, Tyler Dock coming on strong. In my opinion, got shafted. Should have made the Sun Belt title game. Went 11-2 on the season, 7-1 in conference. That's a 71 overall team that they did that with. So you got to be pretty happy with how that went. For Marshall and Texas State, just not good seasons. Both of them did beat Troy, though, so they don't finish at the bottom of the barrel, but 3 combined wins between the two of them. There's not much else to say there. You have to be... I would imagine both of them are getting fired, if I'm being honest with you. It was a bad season. Negative 312 point differential, negative 217. It's not good enough. But that'll do it for the season recap. That'll do it for this episode. I think it's episode 4. That's what we're going to go with. So thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Catch you on the flip. See ya.